So
That's amazing.
yeah.
So, okay, so for cognitive function, because a lot of people, you know, the biohackers, they listen to the show and they want to hear like, okay, like cool story, Justin, but like, what's like, what should I do? Just tell me what to do. Kind of like you with me with vegetables, right? So
Yeah.
if you want to be without taking Adderall, if you want to be 10 out of 10, feel amazing, feel super physiological, but in a sustainable way, what would Molly recommend? You know, whether it's microdosing psilocybin or taking specific nootropics or having just a ketogenic diet, what would be the ideal? It's okay, nobody saw that. It's audio.
Sorry.
What would be the ideal like go tos, right? Diet. You don't have to get into like what to eat, but like how to eat, and then kind of like icing on the cake, like nootropics or
Sure.
like IV injection, IV or injectable stuff. Like I took NAD today. You know,
Not as into IVs as most people are. They make me feel nauseous. So I'm just like anything that makes me sick. It's like, nah.
right? But if I want to be Bradley Cooper, if I want to be Eddie Mora in Limitless, but I don't want to like abuse like amphetamines, what am I taking?
Okay. So I have a bunch of different things. The first thing,
Okay.
you gotta cover the most important bases, which is if you have brain fog, you have inflammation. So you got to get to the root of your inflammation. It could be your diet, it could be your gut health. Getting a stool study done and making sure that you don't have dysbiosis or SIBO is actually a really important first step. Making sure you don't have any food intolerances. I do this test called Allergics by Genova Diagnostics, just making sure you don't have any food intolerances. When I gave up gluten, I massively improved my brain function.
Mm.
Getting off of the sugar roller coaster, really helpful. A lot of people are just like constantly on this roller coaster of high blood sugar. And so that's causing this very erratic blood sugar glycemic curve. And so they're going up, they're falling down. They're going up, they're hungry, they're they're like super energized and they're super hungry. That glycemic roller coaster, you can totally hack by just putting a glucose monitor on and just like watching what you eat and starting lowering your carbs. I'm totally in the low carb bandwagon. Like I'm never going to be the kind of body that's just going to thrive on a vegan diet. It just doesn't work for me. But what does work for me is a more ancestral paleo diet that involves lots of vegetables, meats, nuts and seeds, berries. I do eat a little bit of fruit, but I really time it around my exercise. Like today, I had a cheat or I ate like half a cookie that I knew.
How dare you, Molly?
Well, the last time I ate cookies, it spiked my blood sugar. And I was like,
Mm,
okay, next time I eat this cookie, I'm gonna eat half of it and I'm gonna go on a bike ride. And I did.
mm.
It did. There was no spike. So, like, I've been hacking my blood sugar since like my since 2014. So I really think that blood sugar mastery is like fundamental to a healthy brain function. Now, micronutrients are also really important. So you can get a test by this company called
Mm.
Genova Diagnostics, and you can find out if you have any micronutrient deficiencies and you can supplement with anything that you're missing. So a lot of people are just flying blind with their supplement regimen. You don't have
Mhm.
to fly blind. You can totally test. There's also hair minerals testing, which I love for minerals and metals. Minerals are so underappreciated and so important to health. And vitamins are important, but minerals are also important. So one of the best ways to test for minerals is your hair minerals test. Um, and then if after you've covered those bases, I'd say like really meditation is like fundamental to
Mhm.
well-being. And I think a lot of people just don't realize that like learning to meditate is literally a superpower. It trains focus, it trains equanimity, it trains stoic mindset, it trains the ability to handle uncertainty, it trains the ability to handle whatever comes up physically. I really believe in meditation. I just am such a believer.
Mhm.
I also think that there's a good supplement my friends start. I helped kind of spirit like I helped my friend's company take off called Wizard Sciences, and he has this thing called what is it called? It's like a neural nectar or something, and it's a specific type of lipofullerene supplement that's based in either olive oil or caprylic acid. And I'm telling
Mm.
you, it makes your brain run like limitless. It's awesome. That
Yeah, better.
the shit works. You got to try it. It's
Okay,
awesome.
what is it called? Wizard what?
Wizard Sciences. Actually, I'll introduce you to Ian Mitchell, and you should have him on your podcast. The guy's a fucking genius.
Okay. Yeah, that would be
Uh,
amazing.
and then I'd say nootropics are awesome. I'm taking this one called Zembrin right now because I was noticing a little bit of anxiety lately after I got COVID, and I was,
Mm.
that's weird. So I've been taking Zembrin, and it's like a mild SSRI. It's also known as Kana. I wouldn't say it's like particularly intense of an experience, but I don't really want to go take like a pharmaceutical SSRI right now. So I also like
Yeah.
Mucuna. I like maca. I like adaptogens. I love deer antler velvet. That shit is amazing. My friend,
What?
yeah,
Really?
my friend's company, Super Feast, makes really great deer antler velvet. I put it in my elixir every morning, and
Interesting.
such a libido enhancer. I mean, this thing like makes you turned on. It's awesome. And so I think like having like sexual energy that you can fuel into your work is
Mhm.
like actual. It's an extra source of energy, and if you don't have to use it on masturbation or porn, you can
Yeah.
use it to motivate you to do work.
But
So
what if, yeah, I mean, I know some guys that they're like, yeah, they need they need a pill to be less horny
yeah, yeah, exactly.
because they can't focus. They got to go to the bathroom every 15 minutes.
You
If
know,
you gave,
there are guys that need to learn to sit with that and learn to meditate. Like meditation just teaches you how to how to sit.
yeah,
Tantra, learning tantra. Like anybody can learn these practices of transmuting sexual energy into other forms of energy. But
yeah,
not
yeah. Well, it's kind of like what we talked about earlier, right, Molly? It's you know, it's a process. Anything that's sustainable and good for you, it's not going to happen overnight, right? People love taking Adderall, and people love taking what's the other one? Vyvanse.
yeah,
You know why? Because you could be a fat slob, completely unhealthy, nothing matters, and then you take that and you feel like Bradley Cooper, right? So it's like there's no work.
lose weight and like
Yeah, yeah.
and the
But there's
moment
no work. You
you start
just
it again.
yeah, but you just feel amazing. Some people it makes them extreme their libido through the roof, right? I know with me, it definitely increases my libido. Some people are like, "No, dude, the last thing I'm thinking about is sex. I'm thinking about work and getting shit done like a robot."
It increases
Uh,
through the dopamine signaling.
yeah, but some people they're like, "No, like the last thing I'm thinking about it is hooking up with people." Like it turns off my emotions. I turn into basically like an android, right?
Yep.
Or a cyborg, whatever. But it's so easy because like so many people take it and so many people get it and people are misusing it and you just feel amazing. You're like, yeah, the long term, whatever. Well, I feel great today. Like I'm 25, whatever. And meditation and I want to try the wizard thing, but meditation, all these things are like hard and they're not instant and you don't really feel them. Like I meditate, right? But when I remember when I started to meditate, it took at least like 2 weeks to start noticing like I wouldn't emotionally react to things. But it
Yep.
wasn't like take Adderall, boom, you feel like a god. It
Yep.
wasn't like that. So
Yep.
these are not the way we're programmed. Like just like we're programmed, we want instant food. We want Wendy's. Like we go to Wendy's, boom, I get a cheeseburger, I'm done. I don't have to cook. I don't have to get all the shit out. I don't have to go run to the store like your grandparents did. Make this big feast. No, I ain't got time for that. We're playing video games. I'm gonna order some McDonald's, smash some McDonald's real quick, and boom. And that's kind of how they look at pharmaceutical drugs.
Yep.
So,
Why most people are fucking sick. This is
yep,
why people are on their way to
yeah,
getting cancer, dementia, diabetes, and heart disease. This is why most
yeah,
are living in their own metaverse of their mind. They're living in an alternate
yeah,
reality that's filled with brain fog. People are
yeah.
cons, honestly. Like, if you let your decisions of how you live be decided by the advertising you see on TV and the drug advertising. Look, I have a drug company and I still know that drug advertising is fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, still aware that there's all sorts of problems with this world. And
Yeah.
I
This will be, and you're like holding hands on the beach, everyone's kissing and shit.
of medicine you don't have to take very often. The drugs that transform your life that you take through a series of experiences, and then boom, you're different afterwards.
Right, right.
Like the drugs that I'm bringing into the world are combined with therapy. They're combined with actual work that you have to do to change your brain and your brain function.
Mm.
So, yeah, I actually
Should
think
people
we there's a whole world of change coming to medicine, and it's like
yeah.
it's a matter of if you want to be a part of like the new world of that we're trying to create, or this old version of medicine that like isn't fucking working.
Right, right. I've never taken psilocybin, but I've obviously you're in Silicon Valley, so you know all this stuff, right? Then the microdosing, all the bullshit. People that are microdosing psilocybin, compare that to amphetamines.
Oh, it's nowhere near the same. It's very gentle. It's very mild. It's
But do you get the same similar effect?
no, not at all. Not even close.
Okay.
Yeah, totally different experience.
Totally
It's
different.
more subtle. And in my experience, when I microdose mushrooms, it totally reflects the mood that I'm in. So
So if you're in a pissed off mood, you're gonna be more pissed off.
I'm anxious at all, it makes it worse. If I
Mm.
if I'm focused, it improves it. But if I'm like, it's one of those things where it just makes you have a better day, but it's
Hmm.
not gonna give you necessarily the performance enhancement that that you get from stimulants.
I got you.
At the same
I
time,
got you.
I don't think the quality of work that I do when I'm on stimulants is the same as the quality. I mean, it's not the same quality. I actually have better quality work now because I have a better functioning brain. The real goal of health should be to create the conditions where you can adapt to any situation that you're in, not that you have to depend on all of these ancillary systems to function.
Yeah, and you're not so amped up, right? Like when you're all stimmed out, you're so happy and you're so euphoric that nothing actually gets done. Sometimes you got to kind of like be more calm, which is the opposite of what people like preach. You got to be a little bit more calm, more zen, and I guess you could say clear.
Yep.
And that's when you start getting shit done. Okay, cool. So I want to be respectful for your time. Obviously, I could talk to you for 100 hours. I definitely want to do a part 2 with you because
Yeah,
you're knowledgeable. You're knowledgeable, and definitely have a lot more questions. There's a lot of things that we didn't get into, and it's like already been an hour. Cool. Anything you want to tell people that have been listening that would make the 80-20? Like, what's 80% besides good diet and all the other bullshit that people preach? Like, what's like the secret sauce from Molly?
Sleep. A secret. Everyone's like, how are you doing all the things that you do? And I go, they're like, you must not sleep. And I'm like, no, I fucking love sleep. Sleep is like my number one thing that I do not fuck with. If I don't sleep, nothing gets done. So I really prioritize sleep and circadian rhythms. And I really believe in grounding and nature exposure. I really think it's so important to be.
Ooh, have you ever used a grounding mat?
Yeah, but I would rather just go outside and be barefoot. Like,
yeah, until you get one of those tapeworms. Have you ever heard of that? With people like, what was it? There's
you
like
don't tell me I'm gonna get a tapeworm from walking barefoot.
No. So there's actually a real thing. Like, look at it. Like people in the South, like Alabama, Georgia. I don't know about here in Florida, but oh my God, what was it called? I heard it on Rogan, and then he goes
out.
So when you go barefoot, like I think up north you're okay, but in the South, like Alabama, there's a type of, I'm pretty sure it's like a parasite that it gets into the bottom of your foot, and it how do I politically correctly say this? It lowers your IQ.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, so look up barefoot southern. This is fucked up.
For freaking me out before I leave. This has been. I really enjoyed it. It's been really fun talking to you.
Yeah, no. So definitely look into that. But anyways, all right, guys. How do people reach out to you?
Find me on Instagram at drmolly.co.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. All that will be in the show notes below. And it's
LifeMD.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. You don't have to memorize that. All right, guys. Well, you heard it here, folks, from Dr. Molly to Justin Caviar. This is the Justin Caviar Show, and we're out. Bye-bye, y'all.